Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Chef Rambo. I'm back with another cooking recipe and tutorial for you guys today. Y'all already know what I'm making: pot roast with vegetables and baked macaroni, you guys. Let's go ahead and get started on today's video. Okay guys, there's my crock pot. I got some Russian potatoes. In the back, you guys see 3 types of cheeses: cheddar jack, mild cheddar, and Parmesan. I'm using the Tyson beef roast with vegetables, and it has onions, celery, and red potatoes, you guys. I am using 1% milk. You guys can definitely use 2% or whole milk. I'm going to be using Lowry's, black pepper, onion powder, and Mrs. Dash for my seasonings. Over there to the right, I have a pan with a little bit of oil. I'm using Velveeta shells and cheese for my macaroni because they're good. I don't care what y'all say. I love them. And then in a bowl, you guys, I have a half a stick of butter. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and cut up my onions. This is how I like to cut my onions whenever I'm making something. I don't like them to be super chopped up, like diced, but I don't want them long, like as if I was topping it, on a burger or anything. So I kind of want them in the middle. So this is how I like to cut mine. And all I'm doing is taking those onions and transfer over them onions to my crock pot. And I'm going to take my red potatoes, you guys, and I'm just going to slice those in half. These red potatoes are very small, and I don't want them, like I said, I don't want them diced, and I don't want them real big either. So I just want to take these red potatoes and cut them right in half, and then I'm going to go ahead and add them to my crock pot. And the next step is I'm going to, after I cut these red potatoes up, I have to go ahead and take 2 potatoes that I have on my, that were in my cabinet. I'm using Russian potatoes. To me, when I make pot roast, it's never enough potatoes. To me, I could be wrong, but I like to add more. So I'm just taking that Russian potato, because these are actually pretty big, you guys. I'm just going to take that Russian potato and I'm going to cut these into 4 pieces, because I find that if I was to just cut them in half, they're way too big and they might take a little bit longer to cook and get tender. So I'm just going to take those and cut those into 4s. And even though it only showed me adding 1 Russian potato, I indeed did use 2. So that's it. For my seasonings, I'm going to be starting off with the Mrs. Dash seasoning. I normally don't use this, but today I just so happened to use it. After I use the Mrs. Dash seasoning, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of black pepper, because you cannot make anything in the world without having black pepper. I don't really have measurements, but it's definitely not like tablespoons. I'm only probably using about a half tablespoon. I don't even think I'm using a full tablespoon. And next, I'm going to be going in with some onion powder. And you guys have to excuse my hand. I cut myself cooking a week and a half ago, and my hands just look a mess, y'all. Okay. The next thing I'm going to go ahead and add is some Lowry's seasoning salt. This is optional. You can just use regular salt. You can use garlic salt. You can use onion salt. But I am going to go ahead and use Lowry's seasoning salt, and I'm going to start mixing up everything. So in this bowl, you guys, I have red potatoes, Russian potatoes, carrots, onions, a little bit of celery, and I'm just going to work. I'm mixing this all up, because when you make pot roast, you guys, you have to make sure you have enough seasonings. You do not want this pot roast to be dull and tasteless. We have to make sure this pot roast has a lot of flavor, because when we add our water, it's going to get lost. The next thing I'm going to go ahead and do, you guys, is start seasoning up our roast. You guys can use whatever type of meat you want to use. I'm going to go ahead and start going in with some black pepper. And most people season both sides of their meat. In the video, I only season one side of my meat. We're trying to start cutting back on our seasonings and our salt intake and stuff like that. So I basically went in with some seasoning salt, some Mrs. Dash. I'm going in with some onion powder, because you got to have onion powder. And the last thing I'm going to be doing is going in with some seasoned salt. Child, I just said that I'm losing my brain cells, y'all. Y'all got to excuse me. Yeah, so that's all I'm going to be using. And the pot roast came with a pot roast seasoning. I'm going to basically start putting some of the pot roast seasoning on top of the pot roast. And I'm going to be saving a little bit of it because I'm going to be putting it on top of my vegetables and my onions and all that stuff. So I put half of the packet on top of my roast, and I'm going to put the rest of it on top of my vegetables. So I'm going to go ahead and start giving this chuck roast, pot roast, whatever you want to call it, a good sear. This is optional as well. I just find that many people who make pot roast do this. So you want to let it sear on both sides for about 5 to 6 minutes, and we're going to go ahead and shake off the additional grease, and we're putting this directly over our potatoes. So on the bottom, you guys, I have the potatoes that I used, which were the Russian potatoes, and in a bowl, I'm going to put the rest of my vegetables and my red potatoes on top. I wanted to put the bigger potatoes that were tougher on the bottom so they have a better chance of cooking. I don't know how to explain it. I just wanted them to cook faster, so I put them on the bottom. And this is how it should look, you guys. I have my carrots on top, my onions, my potatoes. I am going to add 1 cup of water. I would recommend that you guys only add 1 cup of water. However, I did decide to go in with another cup of water. I prefer my pot roast to be kind of soupy, so I added 2 cups. Okay, guys, I got my water boiling. I'm going to go ahead and add my Velveeta cheese and shells. The shells looking all good. I went ahead and drained some of that water off. I am going to go ahead and go in with my cheese packet. You guys do not have to use this if you don't want to. Some people like to make their macaroni with all, fresh cheeses, shredded cheese, or any other type of cheese. I like to use the little packet. It's so good to me. So I'm going to go in with some onion powder, a little bit of seasoning salt, because you got to have seasoning salt. And then I'm going to go in with some black pepper, you guys. You can just use salt and pepper. Most people, when they make macaroni, they like to use paprika to add color. But you can do whatever y'all want to do. You do not have to do what I do, y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a nice little mix so that way all the shells can get coated with the cheese, because I do not like macaroni when it's not all together. I like it all like that. Okay, guys, we are going to go in with our mild cheddar. I am probably using about 1.5 cups to 2. I probably did use 2 cups. I probably added 2 cups of the mild shredded cheddar cheese. You guys can use whatever type you want. If you guys wanted to use American, if you wanted to use provolone, if you wanted to use Colby Jack, you can use whatever type of cheese you guys want to use. So I used mild cheddar, and now I'm doing the cheddar jack. I'm probably doing 1 cup of the cheddar jack cheese. And like I said, guys, these were just some cheeses that were in my refrigerator that I needed to use. These are not traditionally the cheeses that I use when I make macaroni, So like I said, you can use whatever you want. If you wanted to use sharp cheddar, mild cheddar, mozzarella, provolone, Asiago, you can use whatever type of cheese you guys want to use. There's no right or wrong way to make macaroni. So y'all got to understand that. And lastly, I'm going to go in with some Parmesan. I've never added Parmesan cheese to my macaroni, but it turned out pretty good, y'all. So it's probably not something I'm going to continuously use, but in this scenario, it did turn out really good. So I probably added about 1/2 cup or maybe 1 cup of Parmesan cheese. I think it was more like 1/2 cup. I really didn't use that much. And yeah, so after, you add all your cheeses, I kind of forgot to add the milk. So this is why I'm adding the milk so late. But you can add the milk in with your noodles. You can add the milk in at the end. You can do it however you want to do it. So you got to cover your macaroni at least for 10 minutes when you're making baked macaroni. It makes it taste so much better. So I'm just going to go ahead and go in with some aluminum foil, and I'm going to cover my dish up, and I'm going to put this in the oven. And I have my oven set to 335. I'm going to put it on the second one. So it's on 335. And I let it cook for like 15, 20 minutes, y'all. And this is how it looked. It's all cheesy and pretty and yellow and cute and whatnot. It's so cute. Look at the pot roast. I let this pot roast cook, you guys, for 4 hours. 4 hours, and it got this tender. Look at those potatoes, those onions. Ooh, child. And when I tell y'all this pot roast was good, I mean, my kids, my boyfriend, even my daughter, we smashed, you guys. This was delicious and quick. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys comment, like, and subscribe. I appreciate all of my supporters and subscribers. Until next time, you guys.